वीर्यं करवावहै तेजस्विनावधीतमस्तु मा विद्विषावहै ॐ शान्ति 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 यदा ते मोहकलिलं बुद्धिर्व्यतितरिष्यति तदा गन्तासि निर्वेदम् श्रोतव्यस्य श्रुतस्य च श्रुतिवे प्रतिपन्ना ते यदा स्थास्यति निश्चला समाधावचला बुद्धिः तदा योगमवाप्स्यसि अर्जुन उवाच स्थितप्रज्ञस्य का भाषा समाधिस्थस्य केशव स्थितधीः किं प्रभाषेत किमासीतं व्रजेत किम् श्रीभगवानुवाच प्रजहाति यदा कामान् सर्वान् पार्थमनोगतान् आत्मन्येवात्मना तुष्टः स्थितप्रज्ञस्तदोच्यते दुःखेष्वनुद्विग्नमनाः सुखेषु विगतस्पृहः वीतरागभयक्रोधः स्थितधीर्मुनिरुच्यते. So we are doing this verse number 52. This 52 number. Everybody wants to be happy, and we always get what we want if we make the right effort. That is, we all make effort, but more often than not we make only effort, not the right effort. In fact, we make customary effort. We make an effort that is generally customarily done, you see. We go by our customary thinking, customary approach. So whenever I want to be happy, I just, then I start going here, meeting this person, that person, enjoying this object, that object, this. I take to objects and people whenever I want to be happy. I immediately take to objects and people. I try to use the objects as the source of my happiness. I try to enjoy the objects, or I try to meet people and then try to entertain myself. This is a customary approach. This is customary from ancient times, it has always been like that. Whenever man wanted to entertain himself, he used people and he used objects. And whenever He wanted to be happy, he used the world to entertain himself. This is called customary approach. This is called conventional approach. This is called habitual approach, conventional, customary. But what Bhagavan Krishna says is, you can really get your happiness provided you make the right effort. When you make the right effort, it can never deny you the right result. Right effort always gives us right result. Now the problem with us is that we make effort all right, we make some effort and expect the right result. We make some effort means some customary effort. I have already told you the customary effort that human beings make is that whenever you want to be happy, then you rush to the things, objects, or rush to the people. So I want to rush to the people, someone whom I like to entertain myself. I either meet somebody whom I like to entertain myself, or I reach objects which I like to entertain myself. I reach a place which I like. I reach a farmhouse which I like, or I reach some hill station which I like. Something in this creation, I always, look for something by which I can entertain. And when I can entertain myself, I call it happiness. People call it happiness. And this entertaining oneself through the people and the objects is also a very tiring process. This is the customary approach throughout history. That is why there is no answer to boredom. Because you get bored again, you see. You entertain yourself for a while and again you get bored. We entertain ourselves through a movie, like you see a movie and then it entertains you for a while. And while seeing a movie, you get so bored, then you go out and start looking for a popcorn to entertain, within the entertainment. And that also doesn't really help you. Then again go up, just browse around. Constantly man is restless, understand. It's not easy to make oneself restful by entertaining. I can't become restful just by entertaining myself. It's not possible. Therefore here Krishna says, you can become restful, you can become happy, you can really get what you want, you can get the peace that you want, happiness that you want, freedom that you want, restfulness that you want, relaxation that you want, provided you make the right effort, and right effort implies calling spade a spade. That's not going to be easy, because customarily we have been calling spade something else. Customarily we have been calling spade something else, and now suddenly Bhagavan Krishna comes and says, please call spade a spade. He says, हम तो इसको और कुछ कहते थे, अभी आप कह रहे हैं कि इसको स्पेड कहो, हम तो इसको और कुछ कहते थे, तो ये क्या हम कैसे आपको मानेंगे? Bhagavan says, hey, it is a spade. Why don't you look at it? It is a spade. Call it a spade. Calling spade a spade means, understand, this approach of trying to entertain oneself through the people and the objects it has a flaw in it, is not the answer. I don't mean to say by not entertaining you get the answer. Neither by the objects, nor by using the objects to entertain oneself, or by renouncing the objects also is not the answer. People are not the answer, renouncing people also is not the answer. Please put off all your mobiles. And using people to entertain yourself is not the answer. Renouncing people also is not the answer. Using objects to entertain ourselves is not the answer. Mere renunciation of the merely, just from today onwards, no, I don't meet anybody or I don't see any object. That is also mere renunciation also is not the answer. We think, if I renounce everything, I will be happy. No, if you renounce everything, you will be the same. You will be more unhappy. At least you had something to entertain yourself with. Suppose, as long as you have a wife and children, whenever you cried, there was somebody to wipe the tears. Supposing you renounce them and go to Rishikesh, and then there if you cry, who is going to wipe your tears? I tell you, there will be none even to console you. That is why all that the family can give you is console you. Money can console you. People can console you. Objects can console you. Bas. But one doesn't stop crying. At least they try to console. You don't become, doesn't solve. Therefore, neither people are the answer to me, nor the money is the answer, nor the objects are the answer. Neither living beings nor the non-living things are the answer. Nor renouncing both is the answer. Here Krishna says, understanding that they are not the answer is one part of the answer. Understanding that they are not the answer is a part of the answer. So that you are not treading the wrong path. The moment I know the people are not the answer, nor the objects are the answer, then I am not running after them. Neither I am liking them, nor I am disliking them. Neither I love them, nor I hate them. They are like me, they are there in this creation. They are there. Neither I develop extreme attachments for them, nor I develop any indifference to them. Well, they are not the answer. See, what is not an answer, discovering that it is not an answer, is a part of the answer. I don't know whether you are able to follow it. Discovering that it is not an answer is a part of the answer. At least if I discover that is not the answer, then I try to go for the real answer. What is not the answer, I must know that it is not the answer. Why these objects are not the answer? Krishna says here very beautifully, hey, it is a part of your problem, not an answer. It's all limited. Yada. Now see the verse, we will go into it bit by bit, try to. Yada, when. Te, yuva. Moha kalilam. Krishna tells Arjuna, hey, you have a moha kalila, means attachment, which is impurity. You have attachment to the people as an answer. It's not just attachment. You get attached to something only with the idea that is going to be the answer to you. This will make me happy. My children will make me happy. My wife will make me happy. My friends will make me happy. The society will make me happy. My house. In fact, all that we get attached only on that assumption that it is the answer. I get attached to a person as the answer, and he gets attached to me as his answer. He looks upon me as his answer, and I get attached to him as my answer. I get attached to him as my answer. He gets attached to me as his answer. Therefore, this is a contradiction. This is a contradiction. Are you able to follow? This is a contradiction. This is what is called moha kalilam. A contradictory attachment. Attachment which is looked upon as an answer is a contradiction. It's a contradiction. A contradictory approach to finding an answer, an attachment which is looked upon as an answer, attachment to the objects or attachment to the people, which is looked upon as an answer to oneself, this serious thinking, that is the answer. The serious thinking is what is called moha kalilam. Moha kalilam means this great illusion, this great confusion. This doesn't in any way mean that Krishna wants you not to have any attachment. That's not what he is telling. Hey, don't look upon your attachments as your answer. Now Bhagavan says, buddhi, your reasoning, your intellect, vyatita rishyati, it crosses. When your intellect understands, when your reasoning understands, that your attachments are not the answer, that means you have a reasoning that really overrides your emotions, your attachments. You have a reasoning that overrides the emotions and impulses. Because reasoning is what we have to depend upon whenever we commit, an emotional excess. When I am too attached, then I have to use my reason to get some relaxation, to get some relief. When I get obsessed with my children who are well settled, then I have to use my reason to get some relaxation. Are you able to follow? Therefore, we have to depend upon reasoning to save ourselves from the excesses that we commit in our emotions, in our impulses. Because there is nobody else whom you can consult in this world. Nobody can come to our rescue other than our own reasoning. Ultimately, supposing you meet your friend for help, you meet your friend for help, you understand, you seek your friend's help, or seek your parents' help, or seek your in-laws' help, or seek anybody's help. Ultimately, even those people try to help you only by making you use your reason. They also ultimately say, better think correctly. अभी मेरे पास टाइम नहीं है, तो 1 घंटा आपके साथ बैठा. Now I have to go somewhere. You better use your reasoning. Then ultimately, when your friend goes away, then what should you depend upon? Your own reasoning. Reasoning is a very comprehensive, is a great friend. Understand? Reasoning. Buddhi means what? Reasoning. Reasoning is not an ordinary thing. That at every step, you have to use your reasoning to, achieve moderation and avoid excesses. To retrace your steps, to be on the rails, not to just fall off from the rails. You have to use reasoning. Aram se, don't make noise. Aram se, restfully sit down. Are you able to follow? You have to use your reasoning. That reasoning in Sanskrit is called buddhi. The word buddhi. Do you know why it is called buddhi? Because it is the reasoning that can tell us what is right and what is wrong, what is truth and what is untruth. And even when you are committing excesses, sometimes you are telling a lie. I am giving you a very good example. It should go home. Supposing you are trying to tell somebody a lie and cover it up. Is it not? Supposing, I'm not really, I'm not accusing you that you are. Supposing you tell a lie and try to cover up, and you always try to cover up because you know it is wrong. And what tells you that it is wrong is your reason. What tells you that it is wrong is your reason. Aram se sunna. What tells you that it is wrong is your reason, that sense of that reason. Therefore, that reasoning is the thing by which we have to discover that these objects are not the answer, the people are also are not the answer. In fact, in this creation, there is no answer to what? There is no answer to us. The world can help me live, can survive. Beyond survival, this air, this fire, this water, this earth, these elements, these inert elements, this house, it is also elements. Money, that is also elements, because money can buy only objects, and objects are elements, elementals. These all inert objects are not the answer, only they can help me live, because this body is also elements, you see. This is an inert. This is also, there are 5 elements in the body. There is space in it, there is air in it, there is temperature, fire in it, there is water in it, and there is earth in it. Therefore, the body is made of 5 elements, and these 5 elements are sustained by 5 elements. This body is made of 5 elements. And what is made of 5 elements is sustained by 5 elements. Therefore, all that you have in this world is only elements, and all the money that you have can only buy elements. And elements can only sustain elements. But what you want is, I want to be and be happy. I want to find a state in which I am there and I have no problem. I want to be and be peaceful and be aware of that fact. I keep repeating this statement. I want to be and be peaceful and be aware of that fact. Is this not what everybody wants? I want to be and be peaceful. It's like a man, wanting money. He says, I want to have a lot of money and also know that I have money. I want to have a lot of money and all the time be aware of that fact. I have so much of money. Is it not? Similarly, everybody wants, I want to be and be peaceful. Be peaceful and be aware of that fact. This situation, peaceful state of our being, serene state of our being, happy state of our being, struggle-free state of our being, is not something that we can get through the elements. Therefore, the elements can only sustain the body. That is why once we lose the body, then all the wealth that we have has no meaning at all. For a man who leaves the body, what are his fixed deposits to him? He has got, very, very lucrative shares. He has got, shares, very good. And the man leaves the body. Then what will he do with those shares? Is it useful? See, all that I accumulate has a relevant only to my body, not to me. There is a difference between being relevant to my body and relevant to me. Swamiji, what are you talking? Is there a difference between my body and me? Yes, that is the point. There is a difference between you and your body. There is a difference. That is the point that is made by the entire literature. What did I say? That is the point made by the entire Vedic literature. Your entire spirituality can be defined as something that makes only this point, that you are different from the body. That is why we rest the body on the bed and then leave it and then remain peaceful and come back. Sometimes we leave the body and then go into the dream, or we leave the body and remain peaceful and again wake up. Wake up means we assume the body again. Every day I assume the body and leave the body. Like a shirt, you see. Every day you go and every day you put on your overcoat. When you go out, you put on your dress, and then when you come back, you change. That means what I can put on and what I can take off is different from myself. It makes sense. Makes sense. What I assume and what I leave is different from me. And if I look upon what I assume and what I leave itself as myself, if I look upon like that, then what happens? That's a confusion. Then there is a problem. Are you able to follow? Therefore, Krishna here says, when your reasoning helps you to understand that the elements can only, the wealth can only, the objects can only sustain the body, but the objects cannot help me to find a peaceful state of my being. They can't cook up Shanti. Objects can't cook up peace. It's like, sounds can't create silence. Did you hear that? Do you understand that? Can the noise cook up silence? Can the noise cook up silence? Can the noise cook up silence? हमें जो सोचना पड़ेगा. Because you are coming up with such serious riddles, such very difficult questions. Difficult questions. Can the noise cook up silence? If the noise cannot cook up silence, the noise is symbolic of this creation, I am telling you. Noise stands for the entire creation. If the noise can't cook up silence, then this world, the noise also can't cook up peace, which is another word for silence, serenity. We are all the time using the noise to reach the silence. We are using noise to reach the silence. We are using noise to reach silence. Are you able to follow? Therefore, here Bhagavan says, when you use your reasoning to understand that this world is not the answer to you, when you understand, when you use your reasoning that this world is not the answer to you, then tada, at that time, when you see this much, when you have grown up this much, when you have become this much matured, this is called maturity. Maturity has to be judged not in terms of your capacity to make more and more money. Maturity is not to be judged in terms of your capacity to be successful in your business. You may be a matured businessman, but you may not be a matured person. As a matured business, you may make a lot of money, but as a matured person, you will be more happy. As a matured businessman, he will definitely make more money. You will make less mistakes in your business. As a matured businessman, you will make less mistakes and therefore you will make money. But as a matured businessman, when you come home, if you are not a matured man, oh my goodness, you raise hell the moment you come back home. Then you can pick up a fight with your wife, you fight with your children, and then become restless and days and reach out for the bottle because you come back so restless. And you justify I have done so much of work the whole day. I have made so much of money. I have earned the right to enjoy now. Every evening, every joker entertains this sense. The day's work has justifies me, has made me earn my right to enjoy. What is that enjoy? Enjoy means what? Go berserk. Go berserk. Pakodi banao, ye karo, wo karo, and then really that is the time when you eat all that is wrong, drink all that is wrong, do everything wrong. Anything that creates excitement, that's why I say you went there, you went to office, did your duty and came back, all right, then relax. Eat something right, which can relax you. No, I have earned my right to enjoy. Therefore, he is a matured businessman, but not a matured person. There is a difference between. You may be a matured housewife, you may not be a matured person. Matured housewife means what? You know how to keep the whole house tidy. You know how to really keep the whole house nice, and the furniture, the drawing room is spick and span, every bedroom is spick and span, and all the maid servants are kept on their toes. The very sight of you really makes them shudder and then keep doing. They're all doing work like machines. Why? You are a very efficient housewife. In that sense, I am using the word mature. Means what? Very efficient housewife. The whole house trembles seeing you. Maids work, everything. But then as a person, you are not mature. Will it help you? Will it make you happy? No. Therefore, what Krishna is teaching is, hey, when you have, what is said here is, when your reasoning understands, when you use your reasoning and discover that this world is not the answer, that is not the maturity of a businessman, that is not the maturity of a housewife, that is the maturity of a human being. That is the maturity of a thinking being. That is the maturity of a person. If a person is matured, then he is safe in every department. As a person you are matured, then you are happy. In relation to your wife you are happy, in relation to your husband you are happy, in relation to your children you are happy, when you meet strangers you are happy, you are comfortable. Why? Because as a person you are matured. Reasoning, Krishna says, when you use your reasoning to discover that this is not the answer, then you try to find the answer within yourself. Because when the world is not the answer, and still if there is an answer, it has to be within ourselves. It has to be within ourselves. Tada, then, gantasi, the next word see. Gantasi means you have reached. Nirvedam means vairagyam. Have you ever heard this word vairagyam? What is vairagyam? Nirvedam is a word. The other is, the synonym for the nirvedam is vairagyam. What is raga? Listen to all of you, just nicely, closely follow it. This is all, it will be useful for you in your life. Raga, what is raga? Raga means desire. Raga is desire. Desire means with the idea that raga is a desire with the idea that it is going to be the answer. I get attached to an object with the idea that it is the answer. That is called raga. Viraga, freedom from the attachment. Raga, attachment. Viraga, freedom from attachment. That state of freedom from raga is vairagyam. A state of freedom from raga. A state of freedom from raga is vairagyam. This vairagyam, when you have reached through your reasoning, then you have really got half the answer. That means you are qualified for understanding the truth. Vairagyam makes the person matured. Maturity is in terms of vairagyam. Maturity is not in terms of competence. One is competence. The other is maturity, growth, vairagyam. Competence means you are competent to make money, competent to really do things, competent to do this, competent to achieve this, competent to achieve that, competent to organize, competent to meet people. You understand? You know that competence in this world. It's competence. This competence is different and everybody looks for competence. This is the problem. If you are competent, you will be, I say when you are competent, you can make money in this world, you can achieve things which you want to achieve, you can do a lot of things that is okay, like Obama became the president because he was competent enough to project himself as the savior for America. What is that? Is that maturity or competence? That's competence. And these days, we are all told to be competent in order to survive. And that is true. Competence definitely helps us to survive. Without competence, you can't survive in this world. Without competence, you can't survive. So you can't, you can't cook. Suppose as a housewife, you can't cook. You have no competence to cook. Nobody will enjoy food. And similarly, as a businessman, you have no competence to do business. Then the business will not take off. Therefore, competence is a choiceless necessity in life. We are not running down competence. We are only discerning between competence and maturity. We are not choosing one and running down the other. Competence is necessary. But competence can make us really survive in this world, all right. But what makes us qualified for understanding the truth, what qualifies us for peace is maturity. What qualifies us for happiness is maturity. What qualifies us? Competence qualifies us for prosperity. Competence qualifies us for prosperity, whereas maturity qualifies us for happiness. Maturity qualifies us for peace. Maturity qualifies us for harmony. Maturity qualifies us for harmony, outside harmony, inside peace. And even maturity helps us not to harm ourselves. Maturity helps us not to harm ourselves through our prosperity. You see, sometimes we have a lot of money, and then instead of using it for our happiness, we try to use it for our unhappiness. Is it not? A lot of times, money becomes the cause for unnecessary wranglings. How many people have gone to court for money? People go to court for money. Instead of, the court is not going to give them money. Court will take away all your money. You go to courts and the lawyers take away all the money. Therefore, now tell me. And then they will say, do you know what they say? This money is very bad. Hey, how money is bad? Money didn't ask you to go to courts. Money didn't ask you to fight. Therefore, but anyway, well, competence is all it brings us prosperity. It's the maturity that can help us even to correctly utilize money, prosperity. Prosperity is a double-edged sword. It can really comfort you. It can also destroy our comfort. And therefore, that maturity is what is called vairagyam. In English, it is maturity. In Sanskrit, it is vairagyam. I have no better word for maturity than vairagyam. Oh, Swamiji, maturity means only vairagyam. वो तो हम जानते हैं. पुरानी ज़मानों, we know this word vairagyam. To think like that is called being immature. Hey Rama, it's so easy. Vairagyam means really only a matured person can have freedom from all those wrong things. And therefore, vairagyam is this. What is this vairagyam? Every pleasure is temporary and it leaves me again empty. No pleasure makes me full. This is called vairagyam, maturity. This is not the answer. This is maturity. This world has no answer to me. That's maturity. That's maturity. Then comes shrotavyasya shrutasya cha. Maturity lies, vairagyam lies in understanding that all that I have seen is not the answer, all that I have heard is not the answer, and all that I am yet to hear is not the answer. Shrotavyasya, all that I am yet to hear. Shrutasya cha, all that I have heard. The objects that I have already seen, listen. The objects that I have heard of, and the objects that I may yet to hear of. Now there are three things. What I have seen, what I have heard of, what I am yet to hear of. Do you remember? What did I say now? Three things. Can you repeat? What I have seen, the objects that I have seen, the pleasures that I have seen, the pleasures that I have only heard of, and the pleasures that I am yet to hear of. When I come to know the pleasures that I have seen hold no answer to my problem. The pleasures that I have heard of, like pleasures in America, pleasures in other countries, people go on hearing of them, but they have not seen. Therefore, the pleasures that I have heard of are also going to be the same as the pleasures that I have seen. If the pleasures that I have seen hold no answer for my problem, then the pleasures I have heard of also are not going to be the answer, and therefore the pleasures that I am yet to hear, some new pleasures may come up in this society. All the branded pleasures are not going to be the answer. Swamiji, the unbranded may not be the answer, but don't you think the branded are the answer? The branded are the answer. None of them is the answer. Understanding that they are not the answer is the maturity. बहुत बड़ी बात है जी. If this is maturity, now is it the same as competence? Competence for work, competence to talk to people, competence to influence people, competence to hoodwink people, competence to make money, competence to be pushy and make money. Competence. These days we cherish competence and we tell the children also to go to be competent. That is all right. I am not against it. That also we need. But along with the competence, we also need maturity. Means vairagyam. And vairagyam is what is called maturity. Bhagavan says, maturity comes to a person by using his reason over his impulses. Now I am explaining the method. How do I become matured? Does time make me matured? If we become matured in time, then every old person should be matured. Swamiji, is it not true that every old person is matured? All right, go and see. One old person I will quote. I had heard one long ago, some 20 years ago, I heard a talk in a Rotary Club meeting. In a Rotary Club, there was a talk. I was also called for a little small short speech. They say, Swamiji, you can speak for 5 minutes. I say, to speak for 5 minutes, I have to waste 2 hours. These Rotarians also are very funny. They want to really fulfill some kind of formality. 5 minutes, what do you say to them? What do you talk to them? Do you know what I said in 5 minutes? I said, Sarve bhavantu sukhinaha, Sarve santu niramayaha, Sarve bhadrani pashyantu, ma kaschid dukkha bhag bhavet, Asatoma sadgamaya, Tamasoma jyotirgamaya, Mrityorma amritangamaya, Om purnamadaha purnamidam. And then I went away. And I said, 5 minutes are over. I told them, idiots, if you are really educated, try to be more practical. If you want to hear a Swami, organize it properly. Call him with respect. Sit down, listen. Every Swami has something to say. Swamis are an asset for our country because they renounce everything and study, and they have a lot to tell. Therefore, sit down and listen. Create an atmosphere for them to talk. What are you talking? Swamiji, you can talk for 5 minutes. You can say a few words. What is all this? This has no meaning at all. But anyway, they had called along with me another elderly person. And then he was given little longer time because, he mattered. He was a big man, businessman. I am a Swami from Rishikesh. And therefore, he was given some 15-20 minutes time. Okay. Then I wanted to hear. I didn't go. He said, I am 85 now. I still live my life to the full. I have my evening drink. I have my chicken. And I go, I travel. And I do also flirt with some young girls. And they don't mind. What are you talking? What are you talking? Has age matured you? This is an important association where you have to talk wisdom, where you have to talk sanity. Now anyway, coming back to the point, can time mature a person? No. Time itself need not mature a person. Therefore, what matures a person is, whenever you monitor, you be watchful about what you think. Be watchful about what you are thinking, what you are saying, what your motives, what are your intentions, your mental life. Be a witness, be watchful of what you are thinking. When you are watchful of what you are thinking, you will always think the right. You will never allow any impulse. Therefore, whenever you commit excesses in your greed or jealousy, hatred, etc., you have a control. This is one thing. You become you strike moderation in your mind. When you are watchful, you are moderate. When you are not watchful, you are excessive. When you are watchful, it's like, when you are walking, you are watchful, you are careful. You don't fall down. If you are not watchful, you slip and fall. There is no difference between watching your steps and watching your thoughts. When you watch your steps, you don't slip and fall. When you watch your thoughts, you don't commit excesses. You enjoy moderation, and moderation doesn't hurt anybody. Moderation doesn't hurt you, Moderation doesn't hurt one's wife or husband. Moderation doesn't hurt children. Moderation is enjoyable. Are you able to follow? Therefore, watch your thoughts. This is one thing. The reasoning matures you fast. Watching your thoughts matures you fast. You hasten your enlightenment, you hasten your education, you hasten your maturity by using your reasoning. This is another thing. Krishna comes up with a very beautiful thing. Whenever you enjoy a pleasure, please be watchful of your pleasures. Watch the prelude. Every pleasure has a prelude. You understand prelude? You know how you are waiting for it. That waiting, that prelude. Then you are preparing yourself for a pleasure. That preparing yourself for a pleasure is called the prelude. Watch the prelude, then watch the pleasure, and watch also the state after the pleasure. Before pleasure, after pleasure, during pleasure, if you are watchful, a great reality comes to the fore. That is, every pleasure takes us for a trip. Every pleasure takes us for a trip. In fact, what we get from the pleasure, much more we would get, minus the longing for it. Did you hear this? What we get from the pleasure would be much less than what we would get minus the longing for the pleasure. Freedom from the longing for the pleasure relaxes us much more than the pleasure. We think pleasure relaxes us. In fact, even freedom from the longing for a pleasure also relaxes. Freedom from desire gives us more than what desire can give us. Freedom from desire can give us much more than what a desire can give us. Because when I have the desire, the prelude to the desire, prelude to the pleasure, everything is just really fatiguing, tiring, and then ultimately, again I am empty. During that pleasure, I close my eyes for a little while. Oh, it's so nice, a coffee, or so nice an object, so nice a scenery, so nice a mountain, so nice a feeling. Swamiji, it's out of the world feeling you get. Okay. For how long? During which time you forget yourself for a little while. It's almost like taking, it's almost like taking a sip of brandy or a whiskey. When you take a sip of whiskey and then you close your eyes, kuch ho jata hai. It only leads to self-forgetfulness. You forget your worries, वगैरह. And then after that, and we call it relaxation. Now I am contrasting with this. Supposing we have no desire for it, is it not much more relaxing? Freedom from craving relaxes us more than what the object of craving can give us. This is maturity. This is maturity. Discovering that freedom from craving gives us greater relaxation than the object of craving is a huge maturity. It's like discovering like this. I will give you a simple example which will be very easy for you to understand. It's like not telling a lie. Freedom from craving to tell a lie. Freedom from temptation to tell a lie is much more relaxation than the object that you get by telling a lie. what that object, the relaxation that object can give you is much less than the freedom from the crave, freedom from the temptation to tell a lie. बहुत बड़ी बात है जी. Not to tell a lie relaxes us much more than telling a lie and getting an object. Even if you tell a lie and get an object, that object can relax you much less perhaps, much less indeed, not perhaps, much less indeed than freedom from the temptation to tell a lie. Truthfulness relaxes us much more than the treasures that we acquire by breaking truthfulness. Is it not true? Is it not true? And therefore, Krishna is telling, hey, what can relax you is your maturity. What can relax you is not outside. What can relax you is your thinking. What can relax you is your maturity. What can relax you is your understanding. What can relax you is your reasoning. What can relax you is yourself. In fact, you are the source of your relaxation. And therefore, you better understand this point, and that is called Vairagyam. I'm just taking 2 more minutes. I know to hear for 1 hour is tough. I know that. Because in between you have no stories. You have no kahani, because it's all just discussion. It's all reasoning. It's all study. It's all topic. It's all topic. But still 1 hour once in a week, it doesn't matter. Just another 2 minutes. When you go to a dukan, when you go to a shop, you wanted to buy only just something. You wanted to buy a shirt. Okay, clear up to this? You wanted to buy a shirt. Now, that shopkeeper, once he comes to know that you have money, you are a Mataji from South Delhi, you are not going to just let you go off with a simple shirt. He will pull out everything. Look at this, it's a very wonderful thing. Look at that, look at this, look at that. He tries to put on display everything that he has got so that he can create temptation in you to buy much more than a shirt. Much more than a shirt. Even if you have money to buy everything, but you follow the policy, I need only a shirt, I don't need anything else, and let me take what I need, even though there are so many other things, I don't need them. Thus, seeing the difference between what you need and what you don't need is also a part of maturity. It's a part of maturity. But when that person pulls everything out and puts before you, you definitely feels tempted. My God, ये कभी देखा ही नहीं था. कभी देखा ही नहीं था. ये चीज केवल मैं अमेरिका में देखा था. आजकल दिल्ली में भी आ रखे हैं. अच्छा चलो 1-2 पैक कर लो. That means what? I can really, the line between what I need and what I don't need slowly fades out. The line between what I need, what I don't need, slowly I don't see it, then I become distracted. It can cause a problem. In this context, we have to understand Karma Kanda. Karma Kanda is our ritual, and this Karma Kanda is like a shop. Karma Kanda has got so many things, but there we have to only take what we need. We don't have to go after. And even there is always somebody who needs it. Not that really in a shop you require a shirt and therefore he has to keep only shirt. There are so many other things. But I take, in this world there are so many things. I should take what I need. That's a part of maturity. I take what I need. I don't have to worry about what I don't need. We'll continue it later. Om Purnamadaha Purnamidam Purnaat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnameva Vasishyate Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Harihi Om Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. Harihi Om Om Tat Sat.